Well, hello, guys. Welcome to the Casual Horror Fan channel. Today, we're reacting to another Buzzfeed list. This is 19 overrated horror films, according to Buzzfeed. I'm going in blind. We'll see if I agree, disagree, and let's hop into it. First off, they have The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Don't get me wrong. Scott Derrick's The Exorcism of Emily Rose is not a bad movie. Hell, it's actually a pretty compelling legal thriller. But the horror film that plays out throughout the legal drama feels very at odds with the rest of the proceedings and somewhat undercuts the stakes of the story as a whole. Totally disagree. I think the setting of the legal drama or the courthouse and making it a legal drama where we have these visions that play into the story makes it more powerful. I think if anything, Exorcism of Emily Rose is actually an underrated classic. Maybe not a classic. It's a really good movie. I think it's a little bit underrated. 18 is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is an undeniable cult classic, but I think the majority of the film's fans will testify the movie needs to be enjoyed in a group setting, primarily in its rowdy live theatrical experience. While it's also as a solo viewing experience, well, one might be more tempted to just throw on the soundtrack. I have not seen this one, but I don't know. Overrated? I feel like, yeah, maybe. I mean, people definitely love this movie. Next is Friday the 13th from 1980. Though its twist ending and a number of inspired kills helped launch the franchise, the original Friday the 13th is fairly dull at points and doesn't deliver much in terms of story aspects that were later corrected by the more imaginative mythology and suspenseful sequels. Yeah, this movie sucks. I don't even know this image. That's great. It's not good. The reveal is kind of interesting, but again, as I've said before, like they cheat the reveal. Like there's no reason to suspect Mrs. Voorhees. Oh, spoiler alert! It's Mrs. Voorhees. So yeah, this movie totally sucks. But so do all the rest. The Sixth Sense. Ooh. Sixth Sense was the defining horror film for the late 90s and one of the few with Academy Award recognition. But while the film is technically skilled and quite tense, retrospective viewings see the film bury the horror and atmosphere under the weight of its own super serious, saccharine tone. Eh, I think The Sixth Sense is a little underrated, man. Like, who's still talking about that movie? And it was an absolute classic. It's one of the best of the is it 2000s or is it, oh, it's not late 90s. Okay. I saw this in theaters. And again, maybe I have that nostalgia about it, but I think this is just a classic. Everything about it's excellent from the story. It's just a classic ghost story with an amazing twist. This is a great movie, man. This is not overrated. Next up, we have Halloween from 2018. Ooh, David Gordon Green may be an exceptional director, but if his work with the latter two entries of the Halloween franchise is any indication, perhaps horror may not be his thing. With the 2018 reboot feeling especially like a missed opportunity given how Halloween H2O covered the same ground with better scares and even a more mature lens than the character of Laurie showed. Nah, dude. Halloween H2O is nowhere near as good as Halloween 2018. I didn't think Halloween 2018 was like great. I think Halloween 2018 played it kind of safe. They didn't go for anything that was like over the top. It all kind of made sense. I mean, I guess Laurie Strode is kind of over the top. I think her performance is excellent. I love the mask. I love the performance by Michael. Dude, there's a lot of bad Halloween movies. This is not one of them. This is a good movie. What came after? Mm, High Tension. Alexandre Aja's breakout film is notable as the major crossover between French New Extremism, horror, and mainstream Hollywood horror releases. But outside of its gruesome highlights and the tension fitting of its U.S. title, the film drops the ball in the third act with a head-scratching twist that merely does the goodwill that came before it, that undoes the goodwill that came before it. I have not seen this movie, but maybe I'll check it out. That does look like a French store, though. Cabin Fever from 2002. Ooh, Eli Roth's directorial debut was a campy slice of gross-out horror comedy, but despite the high hype of the movie based on the praise of established filmmakers, Cabin Fever isn't quite the classic body horror that some fans might lead you to believe. I don't know. I think this is just properly rated. I don't think people consider this an all-time great. What did you say? Quite the classic. I mean, do people consider Cabin Fever a classic? If they do, then I would agree it's a little bit overrated. But I think this is kind of just considered what it is. The Grudge from 2004. The Ring may have helped usher J horror into the U.S. zeitgeist, but The Grudge established a subgenre as a full-blown sensation among mainstream audiences. The difference between the two movies, however, the former still holds up as a game-changing nightmare of a horror picture, while the latter is still a muddled, confusing mess anchored by only a few jump scares. The Grudge definitely sucks. It's not a good movie, but it was really scary at the time. I wouldn't really say it's overrated though, because I don't think people really think Grudge is like a great movie. I think people look at it, well, it's like a scary movie from the 2000s, like a J horror remake from the 2000s. I remember my sister being like, "You need to see The Grudge. It's so scary." And she didn't like really love horror. We would sometimes watch them together. And yeah, I mean, it has its moments. It definitely had its moments. But again, I was like 15. The Last House on the Left from 1972, one of the seminal exploitation films that defined the early career of Wes Craven. The Last House on the Left, successful and shocking and unnerving the audience, but its hostile sensibilities and rough around the edges editing will always keep the film from the acceptance of even more contemporary extreme genre movies. I don't know. I think this is a pretty good movie, and I think it was important for its time. Obviously, there's a bunch of remakes, and that's because of what this original film was able to capture. It also hits on a very primal fear. I think a lot of this is just contemporary sensibilities, not really going for the plot. I wouldn't say that this is an underrated movie. Paranormal Activity. Interesting choice. This writer fondly recalls the grassroots campaign to bring Paranormal Activity to theaters, from its viral trailers to rumblings from the festival circuit. But once the film arrived, outside of a select key moments that have become iconic with the franchise, the film's lagging action and lackluster supporting performances left much to be desired. Luckily, a number of Paranormal Activity sequels took the ball and ran with its potential, especially the terrific third and fifth entries. You saw the fifth one? I stopped at three, which was excellent, by the way. I remember seeing it in theaters with two of my friends, and there was moments where we were like actually terrified, moments we were laughing. Paranormal Activity 3 is great. I highly doubt it still holds up. I don't know, man. I don't think people have really high opinions of the original Paranormal Activity. Like it didn't invent found footage. What it did was easily recreatable. I mean, for its time, yeah, it was cool. It was really scary, but I think that this is properly rated. I don't think, I mean, it's not landing on any all time great lists. It's not even probably landing on any best of the 2000s list. I don't know. I would not consider this overrated. Next is Bird Box. Interesting pick, Bird Box. I'll be the first to admit that Bird Box was effective in its ability to draw in an audience with a great gimmick, but that gimmick is barely enough to keep an audience ho hum and melodramatic creature feature afloat. Though one could argue that same about A Quiet Place as well, the latter may have better wrought out its more intense moments. Who thinks Bird Box is great though? Like, I don't know. Bird Box is pretty good. I liked it. Thought it was a good performance. What else would I say? They didn't make sequels. It didn't win. I don't think it won any of the awards. I mean, I wouldn't say it's overrated. I thought it was pretty good. Next is Mama. Mama may have been a colossal box office hit, an underdog story in the world of horror, considering its online origins. But the film's over reliance on bad CGI, paint by number storytelling, and contrived performances have kept it from it aging beyond its flavor of the week reputation. I have not seen this movie. Next is Wolf Creek. One of the weaker entries in the so-called torture porn era of horror, Wolf Creek thrived in the momentum of its true story origins and the charismatic performance from John Jarratt, but it remains barely memorable to most. I have not seen this, and that makes sense because I hate torture porn, and I didn't try to avoid anything from that era. So I'm glad I haven't seen it. Probably is overrated. The Amityville Horror from 1979. Interesting pick. The Amityville Horror is another early and culturally wide-reaching film in the horror canon, but despite its influences on the horror of the past 4 decades, the film itself is pretty mediocre and anticlimactic to the point where it's oven overshadowed by its run-of-the-mill 2005 remake. I wouldn't. I don't think it's a horrible pick, but I think it's like Amityville Horror is so great for a lot of reasons outside of the film. It did a lot for the haunted house, possession. Obviously, it's a true story. Fun fact: I actually live pretty close to Amityville. I pass it on the highway all the time. I don't know if it's aged that well. I remember watching it with my parents and expecting to be like terrified and kind of thinking it was a little bit goofy, but I don't know. I think you have to put it in its proper context. It might be a little bit overrated. It might be a little bit overrated. Next is The Purge. Interesting. The Purge has been a lucrative and somewhat iconic franchise for Blumhouse and Universal, but outside the killer premise and the oh so creepy mask, the original Purge flick, the heavy-handed snoozer that initializes or capitalizes on its tiny budget while under-delivering on its core concept. I don't know. I Again, this is one of those where I think that it's people kind of view this movie properly. Like I don't think a lot of people are like, yeah, The Purge is one of the best movies ever done. I think Purge is fun. I think it's a good movie. I think a lot of sequels are pretty good. I think I've seen through three. I'm probably not going to watch any more of them. I don't really do a lot of sequels. But yeah, I think The Purge is properly rated. And Halloween from 1978, they're coming for them, guys. They're getting heavier. I understand that it's considered heresy to consider John Carpenter's Halloween as anything but a petrifying pioneer of the slasher genre, but this writer contests the film's minimalism, dueling narrative doesn't quite strike fear as it used to, especially when you have pure evil committing a murder with a literal sheet over his head. Okay, so first of all, it's not a sheet. It is a mask of, oh gosh, what's his name? The guy from Star Wars. Not the guy from Star Wars, the guy from Star Trek. It's going to come to me, but if you can correct me in the comments. Look, is it very scary? No, but dude, it's so iconic. If anything, I think Halloween's a little bit underrated. I don't think like highbrow horror fans give it the credit it deserves. I mean, I understand it didn't invent the slasher, but like the slasher, as we understand, as we later understand it, and as I guess we understand today, it actually did. It also like Michael Myers is just so amazing. He's like the perfect. He's the perfect slasher villain. Loomis, the performances are phenomenal. The sound design, the scenery, the kills. I love this movie. I think if anything, it's a little bit underrated. Sorry, I just not sorry. I disagree. Next is Midsommar. Ari Aster's sophomore feature begins with a horrifying prelude and some unsettling initial scares, but over the course of its nearly 3 hour runtime, the film loses its way with some predictable turns and ventures into pretty underwhelming territory by the time its Wickerman-esque conclusions come to pass. Agreed. This movie sucks. The scene where the woman jumps off the cliff is really scary, and there's definitely moments here, but like it's pretentious, and I don't like it. It's just a bad movie. Next is Jeepers Creepers. Even when you look past the terrible crimes associated with this director, which you shouldn't, by the way, Jeepers Creepers buries itself with world building and creature mythology, only to wrap up its undercooked narrative lightning speed. I agree. I agree. I think that I kind of can't get past him going into the hole. Like, it just doesn't really make sense. Like, why in the world would you ever do that? If I'm not mistaken, he doesn't think there's someone alive. He just thinks like he wants to check it out because he thinks, dude, you would never do that. It makes no sense. You know that even if there wasn't a creeper coming, that you might die down there. And even like the way he falls in, it's just like way too much of like, of course, this had to happen because the story had to go forward. I struggled to even get past that. I found the ending bad. You don't get the Jeepers Creepers craze. Not a Jeepers Creepers guy. I agree. This movie's overrated. I can look past what the director did. I mean, he did. I cannot like approve of it, but like I could still enjoy the movie. I mean, I enjoy a lot. Like Rosemary Baby is literally my favorite movie. So It Follows. One of the most beloved horror flicks of the past decade, It Follows hinges most of its effectiveness on a synth-driven soundtrack and its clever framework, but the lifeless performances and unwavering dedication to the oblique makes David Robert Mitchell's film a real self-important dud. Honestly, I've been waiting for somebody to explain perfectly why It Follows sucks, and I think I just got it because yeah, this movie is so overrated. This movie is not great, and it lines up on these lists, and I cannot stand it because it's just not a great movie. Anyway, guys, that is 19 overrated horror films according to BuzzFeed. Let me know what you guys thought of this list. Let me know what you guys want to see in the next one. It's Casual Horror Fan, and I am